Did you know there are 5 common signs of dementia that anyone can spot? And recognising these signs early is really important, because the sooner that we can spot these signs means the sooner we can get that help for the individual. And the sooner that individual gets help, the better their treatment and their care options are going to be. So, what are these 5 common signs? Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is memory loss. And this is the one that everybody associates with dementia. Now, you might say, but we all suffer from memory loss. I forget things, my friends, my wife, my partner, my kids, we all forget things. And you're right, we do. But there's a difference between forgetting, as we would, or let's call it normal forgetting, and forgetting that's related to dementia. I remember talking to a consultant psychiatrist about this years ago, and she said to me the key difference is that when we forget things, that information will eventually come back. It might be at 5 o'clock in the morning, it might be the next day, but that information will return. But when it comes to memory loss with dementia, then those memories don't return. Now, the sorts of memories you're most likely to see people struggling with in the early days of dementia are the newer memories. And we think that this is because the neurological pathways of that memory aren't very well embedded. Think about when you walk through a field of wheat, and as you go through the first time, there might be a little bit of pathway, but not very much. But as you go back and forth over it, the wheat parts, and you get that kind of footpath through the centre. And that's how we think that our longer term memories are formed. As we keep going down that pathway, it gets it more and more embedded. So the newer memories don't have that pathway, and they're the first ones to go. And that might be conversations from yesterday. It might be important dates. It might be recent events. And the way this might manifest itself is that people might start asking the same questions over and over again, or they may struggle to remember the names of people that they knew well. I think it's important when we're thinking about memory that we try and look for patterns. Is the person misplacing things more often? Do they seem more unsure about where to go? If this memory loss is starting to have a significant impact on their lives, their day-to-day living, then this could be a sign of dementia. And remember, it's not just about the forgetting, but it's about how it impacts on their day-to-day functioning. The next thing to look for is a difficulty in completing familiar tasks. Now, this can manifest itself in many ways. Perhaps somebody is struggling to cook their favourite recipe, or they might be struggling to manage their finances. Dementia can make it feel like what were once simple tasks now require an awful lot of concentration and are becoming incredibly difficult. So, if you noticed that a loved one is suddenly unable to perform tasks that maybe they've been doing for years, then this could be another sign of dementia. Now, the next sign I want to talk about is one that people often get quite concerned about. That is about increased levels of confusion. This could be confusion about time, about place, about people. And this disorientation can then lead to anxiety and frustration in the individual that's experiencing it. So, if you observe somebody that is becoming disorientated in their familiar surroundings and environments, then this is a real red flag. And another thing to be mindful of is that as this progresses, it can cause to people wandering because they're feeling lost and confused and not knowing where they are. And this, of course, could cause its own safety risks. Let's have a look at number 4. Now, this one involves noticeable changes in mood and personality. An individual with dementia may become more anxious. They may become depressed, they may become more angry, more frustrated. And it's important that we recognise, whilst these changes in personality may be distressing for us, they may be equally distressing for the person that's experiencing them. Now, understanding that these changes are part of cognitive decline is really important. It's important for us because, again, it's another one of those red flags, but it will also affect how we are then able to support and reassure the individual that we're concerned about. And finally, the 5th sign is social withdrawal, or withdrawal from activities. If you notice that someone is pulling away from friends, from contacts, from environments or situations that they normally used to embrace, then this could be a real indicator of cognitive decline. And what's worse is that this sort of social isolation will actually exacerbate, will make worse the feelings that they're already encountering. So it's really essential that if you see somebody starting to withdraw, you encourage them and support them to engage in some social interactions. Now, they could resist at first, but it's absolutely worth just to keep going in a supportive way. Sometimes it can just be as simple as you going and paying them a visit. So to recap, there are 5 common signs of dementia that anyone can spot. We have memory loss, we have difficulty in completing familiar tasks, we have confusion about time, place, maybe people. There are changes in mood and personality, withdrawal from social activities. Now, these signs don't necessarily mean that somebody has dementia, but any one of these is enough of a red flag for you to consider getting a medical examination. And in one of my other videos, I talk about how you can do that, about how you can have those awkward conversations if you are worried about somebody. So I hope this has been useful. If it has, please do like, share, comment below. If there's other topics you'd like me to talk about, either in relation to dementia or mental health, around capacity or communication, anything like that, then please do let me know. Thanks very much for watching.